Gosh, isn't it frustrating? You're so excited to go do anything. It might be, hey, we're going on a big trip, or we're just gonna go to a new museum we've never seen in the next town over. But the worst part about traveling is when you get lost and the frustration of trying to find your way. So what's been the answer? Well, it's a GPS, right? But then we all said, oh, no, I've got a smartphone. It works great. And then someone calls you, and all of a sudden you're trying to take the call, and the directions aren't being told to you anymore. And I've literally gone around a block several times because I was on the call and didn't know where to go because it had switched off from my map on my phone. Well, and the nightmare. A lot of you have your phones, and guess what? You'll be in a destination where you don't receive any signal, and guess what? You're lost once again. So really, we all go back to the brilliance of a Garmin, so that just never happens. And we've got the latest. I'm so excited about this too. This is 5 Flex for our weekend only. It's a special birthday pricing, and we've got free shipping and handling tonight. So it's a brand new model we have, great configuration, and I love it because Leah Little's here and is going to tell you how not to get lost anymore.
Exactly, because you just talk to it. That's all you do. I mean, hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, you just use your voice. That's all there is to it. And that's the best part about it, because to your point, Suzanne, it's dedicated technology. So what's happening here is what you have in this Garmin is dedicated to one thing and one thing only, to take you to your destination, to get you there safely, to get you there in the most quick route, and to also get you there in the most efficient route. So if you want to save money on gas, if you want to save time, if you want to not have a headache, this is going to be the best solution for you. So the best part about it is that you have everything that you've ever wanted to have in a GPS. First of all, that voice command, we'll talk more and more about that, but more than that, you're going to have all of the points of interest, which I think are really important. So you can view the map, and it's going to take you where you're going. You can see here the side-by-side, so you've got a 3D view, which is really cool as well. All you need to do
left to I-75 North
is listen as she gives you directions, and then talk to her as you tell her or him, depending on which voice you want to set, where you want to go. So it's really one of the most sophisticated yet easy to use gadgets that you will have in your car. Here's the way it works. Voice command.
Say a command.
Find place.
Speak the name of a place.
Starbucks.
Searching for Starbucks. Select a line number.
3.
Would you like to begin navigation?
Yes.
Start new route or add to the active route.
Add to active route. So we're already driving along. We're going to simulate this route.
5 miles. Take exit 266 on the right to County Route 582A.
She gives us those turn-by-turn directions, so she gives them to us ahead of time, but also as you come upon that exit, you are going to have here the most comprehensive system when it comes to navigation, because now you can keep your hands on the wheel,
take exit
listen,
266
you have
on the right to County Route 582A.
You have the auditory cues, you have the visual cues as you need them as well, and the most important part is that it keeps you in the right lane at the right time. It makes you a better driver, a safer driver, and now you are going to have peace of mind.
You know the voice prompts you just did? There's not a cell phone in the world that can do that.
Nope.
Not a cell phone in the world. And so what do? It's distracted driving. Yep. We're like, oh wait, I gotta type in this address. Or you could say the address and then you're like, oh, and then, oh, but you can't say, hey, make a stop at Starbucks in between my trip.
Exactly.
None of that happens with a traditional cell phone. And also I love what you said, this is dedicated. There are satellites floating around out in the universe that actually keep track of wherever you are. So while your cell phone might not work in most places, this is gonna work in every place you're at, which I love. Sure. Now, here's the other couple keys. And then we have more really cool features to this, okay? It can link to your smartphone. We'll talk about that. You will never have to pay for a map update. You also will never have to pay for, what is 2 things? It's lifetime traffic updates and lifetime map updates, okay? I know you'll explain those in just a second. The other one that blew my mind is active lane guidance, which is wonderful. So you're not caught 5 lanes over in a town you don't know, and you're supposed to be making that exit over there, and now you're passing it by. You never get caught in one of those kind of awkward situations. But if you're looking for a really great GPS, and it could be, got a big trip coming up, you got a GPS to go with you, and it's a Garmin Garmin. But it's really funny how often you need it just to get around town. It might be the football season and it's a school you've never been to. And you're like, well, I've never been there. I don't know where it's at. And it might be a community over. It could be a new doctor's office. You go, you know, I really don't know where the office is because it's a new doctor and I've never been there. Again, you've got the GPS to rely on. And I think, Leo, what most of us don't realize is how often we use the Garmin or GPS for much smaller trips than we think.
Exactly. It's not just because you're in a new city or you're going someplace new. I used it to find my local church when I moved to the area. When you're traveling, are you traveling the summer season? Lots of people taking summer vacations, right? What's great about this is you take it out of your car, you put it into a rental car, you take it with you, or you're traveling across the country. It's going to work in the entire contiguous United States. And the best part about it is that now you have the most sophisticated technology at the best value. To Suzanne's point, it connects with satellites that are orbiting our planet Earth as we speak. When you're using your cell phone, and you might say, hey, wait a minute, I have a cell phone. I can use that for GPS, right? Well, try it. You know what happens? A text comes in. A phone call comes in. You're on that interchange on the highway, and then what happens? Well, guess what? Cell phones connect to cell phone towers. They're here on planet Earth. Your GPS actually connects to satellites that are orbiting our planet Earth as we speak. And do you know those satellites were actually put into outer space by our U.S. military? They were put there by the U.S. Department of Defense so that our military could have accuracy within 4 meters. Those same satellites are the same exact satellites that you are connecting to when you are using this GPS. So the beauty is you're going to have accuracy. And let's talk about accuracy, because when it comes to having map updates, that's a big, big deal. How many of us have paid map updates, have paid for one download of a map update? $80. They come out 4 times a year. I'm no math whiz. I'm coaching my daughter. She's going in first to second grade now. And, you know, we're talking $80 4 times a year. That's $320 a year in those map updates. Now, why is it worth that value, and why do people pay $320 a year? Because 1 in 5 of our roads change every single year. A full 20% of those roads change. Do you have construction in your area? Guess what? Roads are changing. Exits are changing. It's happening across the country. So what happens is if your maps aren't updated, then you're not able to get the best possible accuracy. Well, with Garmin, you are always able to get the best possible accuracy.
And explain this too, because there's nothing worse than you're late for an appointment and all of a sudden there's a traffic jam and you're like, what's going on? How do I get around this? This actively gives you traffic updates. Please explain that, because I think this is really a great point.
Well, here you go. I'll show you. I can tell you about it all day long, but guess what? You can just literally pop onto what's coming up ahead of you. It could be what's with the next gas station, what's the next rest area, or traffic. Well, guess what? There's no traffic on your route. Isn't that nice? If there is traffic on your route, guess what? It's going to tell you the delay. It's going to tell you how much time the delay is going to mean to you. And here's the best part. It doesn't just give you the problem, it gives you the solution. So now you're going to know the workaround, because it will automatically then tell you, here's going to be the best route for you to go. Maybe it's to take the next exit on the highway so that you're not sitting there in traffic in a dead standstill for 20 minutes. The best part about this is it saves you time. It saves you money. You have those traffic updates. You have those map updates. You have the ability to talk to it. I mean, you walk through a checklist of everything that you want to have when it comes to driving on the road and not be a distracted driver. This is a dream come true, and that's why so many people have chosen it.
Okay, let's take it to the next level. You're ready for this? Because this is really cool. This has Bluetooth compatibility with a smartphone link. Now, what happens is if you get a new car nowadays, you can program your phone and your car. So when you're driving down the road, you can make a phone call without having to pick up your cell phone. You just talk to your car's system and it will ring your phone. Well, let's say you have an older car. I don't know, car just even a couple years ago. Doesn't have this technology.
It's true.
Now you do with this, so explain that.
Exactly. So what's great about it is so many people are tempted to text and drive, right? You still want to be able to have access to your phone if somebody needs to call you in an emergency, or maybe you need to call someone in an emergency situation, but you still want to be able to use your GPS, but put that cell phone right into the glove box. With Bluetooth connectivity, what happens is that you are able to wirelessly, no cords, no cables, no wires, you put your phone into the glove box, but voila, when you need to take that phone call, you can answer it. Hello?
Hi, Leah. Hi, Suzanne.
Hey, Emily.
Hello.
So nice of you to call in tonight. It's great to be able to talk to you as we're driving along on our route so that we know we're a safer driver and a better driver. Emily, how is the audio quality on your end? Can you hear us okay?
It's loud and clear, just like from a phone.
And same case scenario as we're listening to you as well. So if we're gonna go grab a midnight snack or, well, maybe a 2 a.m. snack, what would you be craving around this time of night? Where would you like to go?
How about Dunkin' Donuts? Get some coffee and some donuts.
Woohoo!
Coffee and donuts, always a
in.
good thing. Sounds good to me. Now watch this. As we say goodbye to Emily. Bye.
Bye, Emily.
Bye.
I'm not going to touch it. Your hands are on the wheel. Your eyes are on the road. You're not a distracted driver. You're still continuing on your route. And yet, now we can go to Dunkin'. We can talk to it, tell it to take us to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. And also, too, this is really important because if you're using your phone, when Emily would have called on the phone, this ends. Did you notice how it split the screen? It's still doing its job, and you're talking to Emily at the same time. It doesn't stop being a map and only be a phone. It does both for you. See, and I'll tell you what's really neat is just having that technology, which changes your old car into a talking car. The Bluetooth technology that you don't find in older models, you now actually have that as a separate bonus. Now, you can get that installed in your car just to be able to make phone calls and Bluetooth it. It costs a lot of money, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And if you upgrade your car to that in many cars nowadays, it costs a lot of money to get the upgrade. This actually does that for you. So if you only used it for that,
exactly,
that actually would be pretty awesome. But the fact that you're always knowing where you go, wherever you go, which is not true with your cell phone. This is our best-selling Garmin. We have sold an interesting stat here. I love this one. 35,000 since we launched it. We brought in a new configuration today. It's always been a customer pick. Garmin's just the name. I mean, it's one of the big names that you can really trust. But we have the lowest price we've ever offered tonight. And also, we have a special 5 flex pays that's only for this weekend. Little heads up, I have only about 2,800 for the whole weekend. Okay, that's like a little handful. So really, if you're getting ready to take that trip, which it is the travel season, really travel in comfort and travel knowing that you've got kind of the security blanket. You don't have to go to a new town and be afraid of getting in like a situation you're not comfortable with. You can go to New York City, park your car, and guess what? Use this, take it, walk somewhere, bring it back, and know where your car's at. There's so many cool features. One that we love to do would be in a new town. We just use our system to find out, hey, we want to eat Italian food tonight.
Exactly.
And it will search for all of them, give us the darn phone numbers, and then because of the Bluetooth, we can call and make a reservation.
Well, you can use it exactly that way. So where do you want to go? So that's the only thing you have to know. Where do you want to go? That's your responsibility. Everything else is going to be right here. So we say categories. We could go into restaurants. So we want to look for Italian. Here we go. Fast food. We want to find, pizzas, grills, donuts and coffee, you name it. It's all right here. Maybe we want to go grab some pizza, some Italian. So let's go to Little Caesars. We say go. So we start a new route. We're off and running, right? It's really that simple. And now it's simulated it.
Take exit 260
now,
on the right to State Route 574 East, then keep left.
So I love listening to her because it's really easy to understand directions.
On the right
and then also she repeats them right when you get to that split in the highway. Or if you wanted to go, say, to Dunkin' Donuts, like we were talking with Emily about, watch this. This is how easy it is to use your Garmin. Voice command.
Say a command.
Find place.
Speak the name of a place.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Searching for Dunkin' Donuts. Select a line number.
3.
Would you like to begin navigation?
Yes.
Start new route or add to the active route.
Start new route. We could even call. You saw the call ahead, right?
Would that be cool?
Lakewood Drive.
So immediately she starts giving you those turn-by-turn directions. And to your point, Suzanne, 8 out of 10 people that choose a GPS, any GPS, choose Garmin. You know why? Because it's the easiest, because you have the voice command, because you are able to save time, because you're able to save money. And in so many cases, when you think about it, how much time do you spend just wasting your time waiting in traffic? How much gas do you wait while you're idling right there? Do you know, according to an independent study, the average Garmin user saves $200 in gas alone?
Right.
Wow. Not only do you have that sort of concierge service that's telling you turn right after the Walgreens, so she gives you real language, you know, so you can identify exactly where you are, but you save that money as well. That's why so many people are choosing this Garmin. That and the fact that if you are concerned about texting and driving, and it's such a big deal right now, do you realize that if you're using your cell phone, how much more likely are you to text and drive? How much more likely is your teenager likely to text and drive? Do you know the average time it takes you to take your eyes off the road when you're texting is 5 seconds? So imagine this, you're driving a car,
right at the traffic
1,
light.
2, 3, 4, she's already told us to turn, 5, you haven't looked at the road. Imagine, that's the reason why so many accidents are happening right now. If you want to avoid being a statistic and avoid that situation, there's nothing more important you can do than to give yourself a tool that is going to give you the best accuracy and the best tools to avoid those situations. When you think about texting and driving, you think about the statistics that are out there right now. It's so scary. You use the Bluetooth, you still have accuracy to be able to use that phone, but yet at the same time, you're able to be that better, safer driver. So number 1, you're getting voice command, you talk to it. Number 2, you're getting lifetime maps. That's over a $300 savings, not just this year, but also next year and the next year and the next year after that, because it's every single year that those map updates come out. Not only that, you're not wasting time in traffic, so you're saving money on the gas and let alone what your time is worth, but there's more. Suzanne mentioned it. How about being able to always be in the right lane? Whether the right lane is the right lane or the left lane, to be in the lane that you need to be in.
The correct lane.
So if there is, exactly.
At the correct time.
At the correct time, exactly. So that if there is a left-hand turn coming up, a lot of highways now are going to that, maybe you want to have the junction view so that you can actually see a visual picture when there's a split in the highway. You have lane assist, you have junction view. They're all right inside this unit, and that's the best part about it. You want to have all the tools. If you walk through that checklist of everything that you want to have to be a better driver, to be a safer driver, this is the unit that you want to own. There's a reason it's a customer pick.
Okay, so what are you getting? Because I actually didn't tell you the whole package, because we do have a special package, and I'm sorry about that. Obviously, you get the GPS big screen, by the way. Colorful, big, easy to read, easy to listen to. Really a brilliant technology, right? But beyond that, you are also going to get with ours the DC adapter, which is great. You get the windshield suction mounts. You can mount it on the windshield, but we've also added to this some bonus goodies. You get a vent clip mount. That's actually new. This is a vent clip, so if you don't want to stick it on your windshield, you can actually stick it on your car vent, which makes it a little bit easier in some cases.
A nice $20 bonus.
Yeah, it's nice. And then you get the vent mount setup instructions, of course, for that, but it's pretty darn simple. On top of that, you're going to get the GPS mount bracket and the USB to mini USB cable, and you need that because that's how you're going to update it 4 times a year for absolutely free. And you know, how many times you've been off to do something and you get everybody in the car and everybody's real excited, and by the time you get there, everybody's pretty upset because mom and dad are fighting, or you and your hubby or partner are fighting because you've gotten lost, you didn't find the right instructions, somebody's on their phone and somebody doesn't know how to operate it right, somebody calls and you've missed the exit, and by the time you get to where you're going, everybody's kind of unhappy about it. Well, imagine that never happening again. You know, just that ease of traveling, whether it's down the block or around your town or the state or the country, with true ease. Like if I program this, I want to start in St. Pete, Florida, and I want to go to Los Angeles, California. Oh my gosh, can you imagine how many things I'd have to worry about from here to there? But when you have this, the worry's gone, and it's taking you the smartest, best route all the way across the country.
It's true.
Like just having it's like having a driver. It's like having a chauffeur who's getting you wherever you want to go, and you don't have you know when you have a chauffeur in a limo, and they're like, oh yeah, they know where they're going. You just sit back. What do you have?
Enjoy the ride.
A great time. You're like, you don't have a worry in the world because the limo guy knows where he's going.
It's true.
It's kind of the same concept.
It is.
You sit back, and no matter where you're traveling, it's a breeze. And I'll tell you what I love. It's It's portability, because if you land in a new city or go to New York or you're renting a car, you've got it. But once you're actually in New York City and you think you're lost, you've got it because it has a pedestrian mode. It has to have pedestrian.
And then you're able to navigate. Maybe it's a one-way road. Maybe you want to be able to you go to new restaurants. Maybe you just want to find something that's near you, right? Now you can do exactly that. You can look.
It's like a guide. It's like a guidebook.
It's like a tour guide.
Like an active tour guide, an updated tour guidebook.
It's true.
Like you might have an old tour guidebook of New York City, but you know, my gosh, you haven't been there in 10 years. You haven't had a,
or 6 months.
Here.
It can change that
That's
fast.
so true. Like it's all in here,
Well,
so it's way beyond just a GPS.
It's true, because when you update the maps, what happens is it updates also the points of interest. And what is a point of interest? Any place you want to go. It could be a restaurant, it could be a theater, it could be you're in New York, you want to discover something new as far as a museum, maybe a theater, right? Now you are able to just talk to your GPS. It talks to you, it gives you those turn-by-turn directions, and now you have something that becomes that useful tool no matter what city you're in the United States, no matter where you travel through the country, no matter what car you're driving. You don't have to go take it to the dealership, update it for $200. Now, those map updates for you are free. And listen, if you're using your cell phone, think about it. Where do you even put it in the car, right? You put it on the dash. Hello. Next thing you know, it's on the floorboard. Next thing you know, who's driving the car? You're leaning over. And what about this guy? He's out in a rural area near the water tower, and a cell phone, maybe a text pops up. Now you don't have to worry about that any longer, because now you are connected to satellite technology. So you have lifetime maps, lifetime traffic, it's voice activation, and you have the lane assist and the junction view. So if you want to be able to have the best tool possible that we've offered in GPS in years.
At the lowest price.
This is it.
Yeah, and it's at the lowest price. We have 5 flex pays just for this weekend, and we're actually shipping it for free, so you save money on shipping. All right, so we're kind of in this car mode, and we're talking